স্কুল ট্রিপল লাইনের পক্ষ থেকে সবাইকে স্বাগতম। আজকে আমরা সাইবার সিকিউরিটি ট্রেনিং প্রোগ্রামের তৃতীয় চ্যাপ্টার আলোচনা করব। সো তৃতীয় চ্যাপ্টারে যে টপিকস থাকবে প্রোটেক্টিং ইওর ডাটা অ্যান্ড প্রাইভেসি। সো আমরা কিভাবে আমাদের তথ্য এবং ডাটাগুলোকে প্রাইভেসির আন্ডারে রাখবো সেগুলো আজকে আমরা আলোচনা করব। সো প্রথমে আমরা ইন্ট্রোডাকশনে যাব। ইন্ট্রোডাকশনে ওয়েলকাম, দেন প্রোটেক্টিং অ্যান্ড ডাটা প্রাইভেসি। সো ইন্ট্রোডাকশন, ডাটা অ্যান্ড প্রাইভেসি।
Chapter 3, Protecting Your Data and Privacy. This chapter focuses on your personal devices and your personal data. It includes tips for protecting your devices, creating strong passwords and safely using wireless networks. It also discusses maintaining your data securely. Your online data is worth something to cybercriminals. This chapter briefly covers authentication techniques to help you maintain your data securely. It also covers ways to enhance the security of your online data with tips about what to do and what not to do online.
এরপর আমরা প্রোটেক্টিং ইওর ডাটা, প্রোটেক্টিং ইওর ডিভাইস অ্যান্ড নেটওয়ার্ক, প্রোটেক্টিং ইওর ডিভাইস অ্যান্ড নেটওয়ার্কে আমরা আমাদের ল্যাপটপ, পিসি এবং মোবাইল ফোন মাধ্যমে কীভাবে ডিভাইসগুলোকে প্রোটেক্ট করব এটা দেখব।
Protect your computing devices. Your computing devices store your data and are the portal to your online life. Below is a short list of steps you can take to protect your computing devices from intrusion. Keep the firewall on, whether it is a software firewall or a hardware firewall on a router. The firewall should be turned on and updated to prevent hackers from accessing your personal or company data. Click Windows 7 and 8.1 or Windows 10 to turn on the firewall in the respective version of Windows. Click here to turn on the firewall for Mac OS X devices. Use Antivirus and Anti-Spyware. Malicious software, such as viruses, Trojan horses, worms, ransomware and spyware, are installed on your computing devices without your permission. In order to gain access to your computer and your data, viruses can destroy your data, slow down your computer, or take over your computer. One way viruses can take over your computer is by allowing spammers to broadcast emails using your account. Spyware can monitor your online activities, collect your personal information, or produce unwanted pop-up ads on your web browser while you are online. A good rule is to only download software from trusted websites to avoid getting spyware in the first place. Antivirus software is designed to scan your computer and incoming email for viruses and delete them. Sometimes antivirus software also includes anti-spyware. Keep your software up to date to protect your computer from the newest malicious software. Manage your operating system and browser. Hackers are always trying to take advantage of vulnerabilities in your operating systems and your web browsers. To protect your computer and your data, set the security settings on your computer and browser at medium or higher. Update your computer's operating system including your web browsers and regularly download and install the latest software patches and security updates from the vendors. Protect all your devices, your computing devices, whether they are PCs, laptops, tablets, or smartphones, should be password protected to prevent unauthorized access. The stored information should be encrypted, especially for sensitive or confidential data. For mobile devices, only store necessary information. In case these devices are stolen or lost when you are away from your home. If any one of your devices is compromised, the criminals may have access to all your data through your cloud storage service provider, such as iCloud or Google Drive. IoT devices pose an even greater risk than your other computing devices. While desktop, laptop and mobile platforms receive frequent software updates, most of the IoT devices still have their original firmware. If vulnerabilities are found in the firmware, the IoT device is likely to stay vulnerable. To make the problem worse, IoT devices are often designed to call home and require internet access. To reach the internet, most IoT devices manufacturers rely on the customer's local network. The result is that IoT devices are very likely to be compromised, and when they are, they allow access to the customer's local network and data. The best way to protect yourself from this scenario is to have IoT devices using an isolated network, sharing it only with other IoT devices.
এবার আমরা ইউজ ওয়্যারলেস নেটওয়ার্ক সেফটি। সো ওয়্যারলেস নেটওয়ার্কের ক্ষেত্রে আমাদের যে সেফটিগুলো দরকার, সে সেফটিগুলো কিভাবে আমরা করতে পারি সেটা আমরা অবশ্যই দেখে নিব। ওয়্যারলেস মিন্স যেটাকে বলে রেডিও লিঙ্কের মাধ্যমে যে কানেক্টিভিটিগুলো হয়ে থাকে, সেই কানেক্টিভিটি সিকিউরিটিগুলো কীভাবে আমরা সেফটি করতে পারি সেটা সম্পর্কে জানব। সো ওয়্যারলেস ডিভাইস যে সেফটি ইকুইপমেন্টগুলো সেগুলো আমরা জানব।
Use wireless networks safely. Wireless networks allow Wi-Fi enabled devices, such as laptops and tablets, to connect to the network by way of the network identifier, known as the Service Set Identifier, SSID, to prevent intruders from entering your home wireless network. The preset SSID and default password for the browser-based administrative interface should be changed. Hackers will be aware of this kind of default access information. Optionally, the wireless router can also be configured to not broadcast the SSID, which adds an additional barrier to discovering the network. However, this should not be considered adequate security for a wireless network. Furthermore, you should encrypt wireless communication by enabling wireless security and the WPA2 encryption feature on the wireless router. Even with WPA2 encryption enabled, the wireless network can still be vulnerable. In October 2017, a security flaw in the WPA2 protocol was discovered. This flaw allows an intruder to break the encryption between the wireless router and the wireless client, and allow the intruder to access and manipulate the network traffic. This vulnerability can be exploited using key reinstallation attacks, KRACK. It affects all modern, protected Wi-Fi networks. To mitigate an attacker, a user should update all affected products. Wireless routers and any wireless-capable devices, such as laptops and mobile devices, as soon as security updates become available. For laptops or other devices with wired NIC, a wired connection could mitigate this vulnerability. Furthermore, you can also use a trusted VPN service to prevent the unauthorized access to your data while you are using the wireless network. Click here to learn more about Clack. When you are away from home, a public Wi-Fi hotspot allows you to access your online information and surf the internet. However, it is best to not access or send any sensitive personal information over a public wireless network. Verify whether your computer is configured with file and media sharing and that it requires user authentication with encryption. To prevent someone from intercepting your information, known as eavesdropping, while using a public wireless network, use encrypted VPN tunnels and services. The VPN service provides you secure access to the Internet, with an encrypted connection between your computer and the VPN service provider's VPN server. With an encrypted VPN tunnel, even if a data transmission is intercepted, it is not decipherable. Click here to learn more about protecting yourself when using wireless networks. Many mobile devices, such as smartphones and tablets, come with the Bluetooth wireless protocol. This capability allows Bluetooth-enabled devices to connect to each other and share information. Unfortunately, Bluetooth can be exploited by hackers to eavesdrop on some devices, establish remote access controls, distribute malware, and drain batteries. To avoid these issues, keep Bluetooth turned off when you are not using it. This figure displays a woman using a public Wi-Fi hotspot and a smartphone connected to a Bluetooth speaker.
এবার আমরা use unique password for each online account. আমরা অনলাইন অ্যাকাউন্টের ক্ষেত্রে কী ধরনের পাসওয়ার্ড ইউজ করতে পারি, ব্যবহার করতে পারি সেই সম্পর্কে বিস্তারিত জানব। সো ওকে, গুড এবং বেটার। সো আমাদের অবশ্যই বেটার পাসওয়ার্ডটাই ক্রিয়েট করতে হবে ফর সেভের জন্য হ্যাকার্স থেকে।
Use unique passwords for each online account. You probably have more than one online account, and each account should have a unique password. That is a lot of passwords to remember. However, the consequence of not using strong and unique passwords leaves you and your data vulnerable to cybercriminals. Using the same password for all your online accounts is like using the same key for all your locked doors. If an attacker was to get your key, he would have the ability to access everything you own. If criminals get your password through phishing, for example, they will try to get into your other online accounts. If you only use one password for all accounts, they can get into all your accounts, steal or erase all your data, or decide to impersonate you. We use so many online accounts that need passwords that it becomes too much to remember. One solution to avoid reusing passwords or using weak passwords is to use a password manager. A password manager stores and encrypts all of your different and complex passwords. The manager can then help you to log into your online accounts automatically. You only need to remember your master password to access the password manager and manage all of your accounts and passwords. Tips for choosing a good password. Do not use dictionary words or names in any languages. Do not use common misspellings of dictionary words. Do not use computer names or account names. If possible, use special characters, such as @$% and asterisk. Use a password with 10 or more characters.
এবার আমরা টপিকস 3.1 অর্থাৎ ডাটা মেইনটেনেন্স সম্পর্কে আলোচনা করব। ডাটা মেইনটেনেন্সের ভিতরে আমরা কিভাবে এনক্রিপ্ট ইওর ডাটা, আমরা কিভাবে আমাদের ডাটাকে এনক্রিপ্ট করতে পারি সেই প্রসেসটা এখন আমরা দেখব।
Encrypt your data. Your data should always be encrypted. You may think you have no secrets and nothing to hide, so why use encryption? Maybe you think that nobody wants your data. Most likely. This is probably not true. Are you ready to show all of your photos and documents to strangers? Are you ready to share financial information stored on your computer to your friends? Do you want to give out your emails and account passwords to the general public? This can be even more troublesome if a malicious application infects your computer or mobile device and steals potentially valuable information, such as account numbers and passwords, and other official documents. That kind of information can lead to identity theft, fraud, or ransom. Criminals may decide to simply encrypt your data and make it unusable until you pay the ransom. What is encryption? Encryption is the process of converting the information into a form where an unauthorized party cannot read it. Only a trusted, authorized person with the secret key or password can decrypt the data and access it in its original form. The encryption itself does not prevent someone from intercepting the data. Encryption can only prevent an unauthorized person from viewing or accessing the content. Software programs are used to encrypt files, folders, and even entire drives. Encrypting File System, EFS, is a Windows feature that can encrypt data. EFS is directly linked to a specific user account. Only the user that encrypted the data will be able to access it after it has been encrypted using EFS. To encrypt data using EFS in all Windows versions, follow these steps. Step 1. Select one or more files or folders. Step 2. Right-click the selected data greater than properties. Step 3. Click Advanced. Step 4. Select the Encrypt Contents to Secure Data checkbox. Step 5. Files and folders that have been encrypted with EFS are displayed in green, as shown in the figure.
এবার আমরা আলোচনা করব ব্যাকআপ ইওর ডাটা। আমরা কিভাবে আমাদের ডাটাগুলোকে ব্যাকআপে রাখতে পারি সেই প্রসেসটা এখন আমরা দেখব।
Back up your data. Your hard drive may fail. Your laptop could be lost. Your smartphone stolen. Maybe you erased the original version of an important document. Having a backup may prevent the loss of irreplaceable data, such as family photos. To back up data properly, you will need an additional storage location for the data, and you must copy the data to that location regularly and automatically. The additional location for your backed up files can be on your home network, secondary location, or in the cloud. By storing the backup of the data locally, you have total control of the data. You can decide to copy all of your data to a network-attached storage device, NAS, a simple external hard drive, or maybe select only a few important folders for backup on thumb drives, CDs, DVDs, or even tapes. In that scenario, you are the owner and you are totally responsible for the cost and maintenance of the storage device equipment. If you subscribe to a cloud storage service, the cost depends on the amount storage space needed. With a cloud storage service like Amazon Web Services, AWS, you have access to your backup data as long as you have access to your account. When you subscribe to online storage services, you may need to be more selective about the data being backed up due to the cost of the storage and the constant online data transfers. One of the benefits of storing a backup at an alternate location is that it is safe in the event of fire, theft, or other catastrophes other than storage device.
আমরা এরপরে দেখব ল্যাব ক্লাসে ব্যাকআপ ডাটা টু এক্সটার্নাল ডিভাইস। সো আমরা এক্সটার্নাল ডিভাইসে কীভাবে ডাটাগুলো ব্যাকআপ রাখতে পারি, যেমন ক্লাউড সার্ভারে। সো সেটা আমরা ব্যবহারিক ক্লাসে দেখাই দিব। সো এখন আমরা আবার দেখব ডিলিটিং ইওর ডাটা পার্মানেন্টলি। সো আমরা কীভাবে পার্মানেন্টলি ডাটাকে রিমুভ করতে পারি সেটাও আমরা দেখব।
Deleting your data permanently. When you move a file to the recycle bin or trash and delete it permanently, the file is only inaccessible from the operating system. Anyone with the right forensic tools can still recover the file due to a magnetic trace left on the hard drive. In order to erase data so that it is no longer recoverable, the data must be overwritten with ones and zeros multiple times. To prevent the recovery of deleted files, you may need to use tools specifically designed to do just that. The program S-Delete from Microsoft, for Vista and higher, claims to have the ability to remove sensitive files completely. Shred for Linux and Secure Empty Trash for Mac OS X are some tools that claim to provide a similar service. The only way to be certain that data or files are not recoverable is to physically destroy the hard drive or storage device. It has been the folly of many criminals in thinking their files were impenetrable or irrecoverable. Besides storing data on your local hard drives, your data may also be stored online in the cloud. Those copies will also need to be deleted. Take a moment to ask yourself, where do I save my data? Is it backed up somewhere? Is it encrypted? When you need to delete your data or get rid of a hard drive or computer, ask yourself, have I safeguarded the data to keep it from falling into the wrong hands?
এরপর আমরা ল্যাব ক্লাসে যেটা দেখব যে হু ইওর অন ডাটা। সো অরিজিনাল ডাটার ব্যক্তি মালিকানাধীন কে সেটাও আমরা দেখতে পারবো। সো এটা আমরা ল্যাব ক্লাসে দেখব। সো আমি জাস্ট ডেমোটা দেখাচ্ছি। সো নেটওয়ার্কিং একাডেমি দেখে এখানে হু ইজ অন ইওর ডাটা। প্রথমে আমাদের পার্ট 1 কমপ্লিট করতে হবে, দেন সাইন আপ করতে হবে, দেন পিসি আর মোবাইল ডিভাইস উইথ ইন্টারনেট অ্যাক্সেস প্রোভাইড করতে হবে, দেন তারপরে আমরা ডাটাগুলোকে স্টোর করতে পারবো। সো পুট ইজ দ্য ডাটা পলিসি, ইউজ পলিসি, কিছু সেটিংস পলিসি, দেন সিকিউর পলিসি। তো এগুলো সম্পর্কে আমাদের পরবর্তী ল্যাব ক্লাসে দেখাই দেব। এবার আমরা আলোচনা করব। সো ডাটার পার্টগুলো আমাদের শেষ, সবগুলো শেষ। তো আমরা এখন 3.2 অর্থাৎ সেফগার্ডিং ইওর অনলাইন প্রাইভেসি, আমাদের অনলাইন প্রাইভেসিটাকে কীভাবে আমরা আরও বেশি স্ট্রং কিংবা শক্তিশালী করতে পারি সে বিষয়ে আলোচনা করব। সো প্রথমে আমরা দেখছি স্ট্রং অথেন্টিকেশন, আমরা কিভাবে আমাদের যে কোনো অ্যাকাউন্টকে অনেক স্ট্রং করে রাখতে পারি সেটার টিপসগুলো আমরা দেখব। সো 2 ফ্যাক্টর অথেন্টিকেশন খুব গুরুত্বপূর্ণ আমাদের জন্য। সো আজকে আমরা 2 ফ্যাক্টর অথেন্টিকেশন সম্পর্কে জানব।
2-factor authentication. Popular online services, such as Google, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Apple and Microsoft, use 2-factor authentication to add an extra layer of security for account logins. Besides the username and password, or personal identification number, PIN, or pattern, 2-factor authentication requires a second token, such as a physical object, credit card, ATM card, phone, or fob biometric scan, fingerprint, palm print, as well as facial or voice recognition. Even with 2-factor authentication, hackers can still gain access to your online accounts through attacks such as phishing attacks, malware, and social engineering. Go here to find out if websites you visit use 2-factor authentication.
এবার আমরা OAuth 2.0 সম্পর্কে বিস্তারিত জানব। সো আমরা দেখতে পাচ্ছি অ্যাক্সেস ডাটা, টোকেন্স ইস্যু, সার্ভার। আমরা একটু জেনে নিই।
OAuth 2.0 Open Authorization. OAuth is an open standard protocol that allows an end user's credentials to access third-party applications without exposing the user's password. OAuth acts as the middleman to decide whether to allow end users access to third-party applications. For example, say you want to access web application XYZ, and you do not have a user account for accessing this web application. However, XYZ has the option to allow you to log in using the credentials from a social media website ABC. So you access the website using the social media login. For this to work, the application XYZ is registered with ABC and is an approved application. When you access XYZ, you use your user credentials for ABC. Then XYZ requests an access token from ABC on your behalf. Now you have access to XYZ. XYZ knows nothing about you and your user credentials. And this interaction is totally seamless for the user. Using secret tokens prevents a malicious application from getting your information and your data.